This is all getting quite serious in here today, Lee.
Easy clubs to hit today.
We are launching.
Launcher, launch pad. Oh, and T-rail.
T-rail, yeah, which is kind of launching.
Come on, Cobra, launch
Keep up.
something.
Launch it, yeah. So, what are we doing today, Lee?
So we've been asked a few times, because we've talked about the launcher previously, so we've asked a few times if we can compare this iron hybrid type club. So we've got 3 of the best ones, and we're going to put them head to head in a little test.
Head to head to head.
Head to head to head to head, and launch them.
Guys, Dan Hendriksen here. We're at Torquay Golf Club today. We're in the studio. Lee has come up to help me out to do some testing with these clubs. It's, again, like Lee has said, we've had lots of questions coming in about mid to high handicap kind of irons as a test, and we thought today we'd put them as a bit of a head-to-head. If you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's hit these irons.
Wilson to start.
Wilson to kick us off then, followed by the Cleveland, followed by the Cobra. So you hit some shots, we'll get some numbers. I will jump in and out in between you hitting shots just to sort of give you a bit of an idea on what they kind of look like and feel like to you. And then we'll report the numbers into everybody.
Okay.
So Lee, first impressions when you look down at the Wilson, how does that, from a shop appeal point of view, how's it looking to you?
It's hard, isn't it? Because I'm not looking at this type of iron personally, but I think what it does look like is like a fat iron, which is what it is. It doesn't look like a hybrid. It looks like an iron that's got lots of help behind it.
Yeah.
But looking down at it, I'm not keen on it. I think the fact that this is shiny, it has like this weird optical illusion that half of it's missing down at the ground. It's just a weird thing. When you look down, it's like this top bit and bottom bit is missing from the sort of head. But I do like the fact that it looks like an iron, so it's got the silver part. So with it being dark, the top line looks like an iron.
It jumps out.
It jumps out as an iron. It's just.
Do you think they're just trying to hide the back end there? Are they just trying to hide it or camouflage it a little bit by making it darker?
Possibly, but it's kind of off-putting because it's shiny.
Yeah.
So it just gives me this weird optical illusion, and especially if the sun's going to shine on it, it would just, like, it looks weird.
Quite a loud sound. We've moved on to the Cleveland now.
Yes, it's a little bit louder. Very similar in its look, shape-wise, but the difference with this is that this is matte.
Yeah.
So that optical illusion I was talking about with the Wilson isn't there because it doesn't shine so much.
Okay.
And obviously this is a little bit sort of curved away into the...
Yeah, it's kind of scalped out, isn't it?
Yeah, so it just puts the weight a little bit lower to aid that launch. But again, it's got a top line. It's trying to look like an iron, and this again is trying to camouflage the back of it, like you said. It camouflages it a bit better for me because there's not that shine there, which the Wilson does have. Okay,
and then from a face point of view, does it look very similar to what we're looking down at the Wilson?
It just looks like an iron. It's not quite as shiny. The top rail on the Wilson is completely chrome on the top, whereas they've matted this out a little bit or satined it, just to sort of, I don't know, hide it a little bit, I suppose.
And again, a completely different sound with the Cobra.
Yeah, this sounds faster.
Does it?
Like it just, when it comes out the front of the face, it just sounds like it's gone off like a rocket.
Yeah.
I do like this. This is very different to the other two with it being black. But it's the same concept, and it looks a little bit like the Wilson because it's more bulbous.
Yeah.
But because it's a black face and like it's all black, it doesn't. That optical illusion again isn't there because it all blends into each other. And this is slightly smaller in its profile, or what appears to be slightly smaller in its profile as well, down at the ball. Yeah. So for me, it looks better. But I do like the fact that it's got these rails on, which is a proven Cobra concept to sort of aid turf interaction, isn't it? Quietly impressed by this. Very quietly impressed by it. Yeah.
So I get what you're saying with this Wilson. Very, very shiny on the top line here, Lee, and we've definitely got that kind of really pop out kind of chrome look when you look down at the face. It's quite big, like it's quite big in its profile. I know that sounds like a bit of a surprise, but when I look at the other range, and we'll look at those in just a minute, this one really is quite a big, chunky looking iron. Plenty of confidence from that, which I think will help a lot of players, especially the people that attend and probably look at this club for a little bit more help. Definitely that little bit of bulbous on the back, again giving me absolute confidence that there's help behind this club to get this ball up in the air as quickly as possible. I don't really focus too much on what's happening down on the sole, but obviously the idea of the sole is to try and help glide that club across the turf, enabling that ball to get up in the air. Ideally not to dig in too much into the turf, let it sort of sweep off the top, which is what we kind of expect to see. Again, with all three of these clubs, I'm expecting to see high launch, possibly lower spin than what I would normally see out of a 7-iron. But first impressions, kind of exactly what I'd expect to see from this iron, but not necessarily the nicest look that I would want to play. And the feel is actually quite nice. Bearing in mind these are all a hollow construction, you'd expect to get a little bit of flex off the face, but actually from the feel of this, it feels very much like a normal iron would feel to me personally, which is actually, I think, quite a good thing.
Very different noise.
Very different noise. More tinny, more... Now we're starting to feel, I'm trying to feel the sort of hollow construction going on from this sort of, you can sense the hollow sound or feel inside the head. Very much, when I look down at this, if I compare it to what we've just got with the Wilson, this looks almost like quite square in its profile when I look down. The top line, I didn't mention too much about the top line with the Wilson because it was quite a nice top line. It wasn't too intrusive. This one, however, is very big. So this top rail on here is actually quite big. And I don't know if that's because of the sort of matte kind of look on top there when you go from the chrome to the kind of matte finish to then into the chrome. So when you pick this club up initially, it's going to look quite chunky down at the bottom of the ball. And then, like Lee said, we've got this little bit of scalped away here again. That to me is just giving me the confidence once again that the ball is going to go up in the air. So if you're somebody that struggles to get the ball in the air or maybe has slower swing speeds, then this type of club is going to give you all the confidence that you're going to need to get it in the air for you. Okay, Cobra, first impressions. Now I have picked this Cobra up a number of times because it's a product that I sell in the shop and had sold it last year, and I have to say the more I could get this in the hands of my senior golfers here at the golf club, the more that they've loved it and really enjoyed it and actually bought quite a few sets of these. And the reason for that is because of the amount of power that they were getting from it, the extra launch they were getting from it, and we were getting some decent amount of spin numbers that when I was seeing through my fittings. The profile of this club is actually, it's proper stealth mode. Like Lee said earlier, it's black all the way around, which that top rail, even though that top rail is quite thick, it kind of blends quite nicely in from the face right the way into the back part of the club. And to me, actually looking down at this club, I could play it. Like I could actually look down at that club. It's got quite a small profile when you look down as well, from heel to toe, and obviously from bottom rail to top rail. It's quite small and compact in its look. So for somebody like me who maybe struggles maybe a little bit more in the 4-iron and maybe a 3-iron, this kind of club would give me the confidence to be able to sort of get it in the air and perform for me. A very similar feel to what I got out of the Cleveland. Definitely that feeling of that there's definitely a hollow feel in here and giving me a bit of a springier effect off the face. So for me, acoustics, feel off the face, looks, I've got to say out of all three of them, this one kind of probably ticks a lot more of the boxes than the other two. So yeah, positive results with the Cobra. Right, Lee, numbers.
Bomb balls.
Bomb balls indeed. This Wilson, by the way,
it's a 4 hybrid.
135 ball speed off the face, launching at 13.8, spinning it at 3.7. Like, this is a 7-iron at 30 degrees aloft, by the way. All these are 30 degrees aloft. 31 yards high, going 202 yards.
Yeah, it's acting like a 4 hybrid, 5 hybrid for me. It's,
wow.
It's not launching.
Yeah.
It's not spinning, and that's great for your ego.
Just going.
That's great for your ego.
Okay, Cleveland then, 133.9, so 134, so 1 mile an hour slower off the face.
Yeah.
Launching at 15.8, so 2 degrees higher in the launch. Spinning there at 4.8, so you've picked up 1,100 revs more spin basically than what you're getting out of the Wilson. Peaking out at 35 yards high, going 187.
That's a little bit more like what I'd expect from a 30-degree iron with my numbers.
Yeah.
50% of the club's loft at launch, which is fine. It's a 6-iron spin, so I'm not displeased with that.
No,
That's more what I'd expect.
Then we go into the Cobra. 130 ball speed, so that's your lowest ball speed. You're down by 5 mile an hour off the face compared to the Wilson. Again, bearing in mind this is 30 degrees in loft. 17.5 degrees in the launch, 5.2 in the spin, nearly 5.3, and 37 yards high, going 182. So, ball speed slowest, not launching at the highest, spinning at the highest,
and going the highest.
Going the highest, and then going the shortest.
Yeah, so that's
not carrying as far.
Everything they say it's going to do. High launch for me. High launch, high spin, high peak height, and as such, it's the lowest in yardage, but it's not low in yardage. That's what I would expect.
Yeah, but for me personally, looking at that, those are more manageable numbers.
Yeah, completely.
From what you're getting out of all 3 of them. Okay, if we go to mine then, 117, this is the Wilson, 117.5 ball speed off the face, launching it at 18.4, spinning it at 5.1, so that's like my 5-iron. 32 yards peak height, going 165. So spinning like my 5-iron, going the yardage of my 6-iron.
Yeah.
So not getting the best out of that club, to be honest. If we then go to the Cleveland, 116 ball speed, launching at 19.9, so 20 degrees in the launch, which is good. And then 5.9 in the spin. So I've picked up like 800 revs more out of the Cleveland. So again, ball speed slightly further down than what we're getting from the Wilson. So we've both got the highest Wilson ball speed. Slightly higher in the spin, no different to you. Slightly higher and slightly shorter.
Those numbers are more closer to where you get your 7-iron, aren't they? 19 degrees of launch is what you want. 6 to 6.5 spin, and then 159 is about your average 7-iron.
Absolutely right. So then we go into the Cobra, and I got to say, these numbers don't surprise me at all because of the fittings that I've done with the Cobras last year, as I said before, for lots of the members here at Torquay. I was getting some really, really good numbers with the spin especially. So, ball speed off the face, 117.6, so slightly quicker off the face than the Cleveland. It's quicker. It's just as quick as the Wilson. 20 in the launch, so 20.3. Look at that spin, 6.5.
Yeah.
I mean, this performs as good as any 7-iron would perform from a spin point of view, peaking at 36 yards high and going 158.
It's perfect.
It is almost a normal 7-iron.
Yeah, great descent angle, great spin, great launch.
It's descent angle 50 degrees, coming in.
That is your 7-iron numbers.
Yeah, very, very good. Irons. Yeah, so based, again, out of both of those, we're getting Wilson going the furthest, going the lowest, and spinning the lowest, both of us.
Yep.
And the Cobra is the one that spins the most, drops the shortest, but actually performs more like a 7-iron than what we would want it.
Both of us are. The patterns are exactly the same.
Yeah, the patterns are the same.
Yeah.
So, which one? Who are these for?
These are for, you said it yourself, you've sold a load of these. These are for senior golfers, maybe sort of lady golfers, people who've got junior golfers, people who've got slow swing speeds and just need that little bit of aid to get the ball up in the air. They don't have the speed to launch it, so they need the club to help them do the launch. They're not designed for me, they're not designed for you, but they performed really well for both of us.
Which one would you, if I said, Lee, you have to pick one, which one are you going to put in the bag?
I'd pick the Cobra on looks, feel and performance.
Right. Even though it wasn't the longest.
Yeah.
It went the highest, but
it's more controllable. It's what I'd want my 7-iron to be. I don't need a 7-iron to do 200 yards. I need a 7-iron to hit greens and stop.
You'd have a bag of wedges, wouldn't you?
I'd just need like a 7-iron, just some wedges. So yeah, the Cobra wins it for me on practically every department. What about you, Danny boy?
Well, What I want to say is that I would love to see more golfers putting these in the golf bag. There is a few issues that I have when it comes to do you want a whole bag full of hybrids, and I understand where people are coming from there, but I just think that these are so friendly. These are such an easy set of golf clubs to use, especially when it comes to what Lee said in the Cobra. I think the Cobra, for me, out of all of these, is the winner because of the control, the looks, the feel, the sound off of them. All of the things that Lee ticked are what we're both kind of getting the sense from both of these. And also the fact that it's less intrusive. It's a smaller profile looking club when you look down at it onto the ball. But I would love to see more of, certainly my members here at Torquay, putting these into the golf bag because they are so easy to hit. I think on your bad days, when you have those real struggle days where you don't get the ball in the air or you're just struggling for a bit of strike, I think these clubs are going to perform for you just as well as what you would do on your normal good day. So I'd like to see more players using them. I'd like to see a lot more players wanting to test them. If I had one criticism that I think these companies need to address, and that is if they're going to put this black paint all around the back of them, my concern would be them chipping up, so the chipping effect. I think the new T-rail that I know Cobra are going to be releasing at some point this year, I know that they're going with a whole load of head covers, but you would, I think, need to protect your clubs a little bit with a bag of head covers, basically, which I'm not sure a lot of people like to have in their bags. But let me know, put your comments down below. What do you think of these clubs? Are you playing any of these clubs? I'd like to hear how you've got on with them. Are they performing better for you than you expected? Are they not as good as what you expected once you've now put them in the bag? Put your comments down below. Don't forget, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. YouTube likes the thumbs up, so give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again soon.